Hello, Drover Nation, and welcome back to the Green Room Podcast. With you, as always, I am Tanner Shoemaker.
And I am Taylor Finney. We are the Sports Information Directors at USAO, and we are excited to keep taking you deeper into Drover athletics. The USAO men's basketball team once again proved that they are among the very best in the country last season, advancing to the NAIA National Championship quarterfinals. The Drovers Elite Eight finished in the best conclusion to a season, since they won the NAIA National Championship in the 2001-2002 season. Last season, the Drovers produced 3 All-SAC selections as well as 2 NAIA All-American selections.
We are very excited to be joined by former USAO men's basketball player and current professional basketball player, Geno Artison.
Yeah, just out here doing my thing, balling.
Balling. Right on. So we'll go ahead and get started, man. First of all, just tell us a little bit about how things are going over in Europe right now. You're in Luxembourg. I'm sure that's quite a big different experience for you coming from Seattle and Oklahoma. So just tell us a little bit about what your journey has been like going over to Europe and playing professionally.
Yeah, for sure, definitely different. Just like, I think the biggest difference is like obviously the language and just the restaurants and the stores. Like you don't have a conventional like Walmart or anything like that. You kind of got to figure it out at the same time, and then getting around talking to people. You kind of got to ask them, do you speak a little bit of English? Some people say yeah, and some people say no. Like I caught myself in the store, like looking for like just shampoo because everything's in their language. I'm like, shampoo. Like I started rubbing my head. It was kind of funny.
Well, I'm sure that's a huge culture shock because you're going from a big city like Seattle, which is your hometown, and going over to literally the smallest country in the world. So I imagine that's quite a culture shock. But we'll go ahead and start a little bit about your journey through college basketball that led to you becoming a pro. You started out at Fresno State, correct?
Yeah, I did. I started at Fresno out of high school. That's where I redshirted. Didn't really work out for me there. I ended up transferring. I went to a junior college in Idaho where I started off really good. I was getting really recruited by a lot of heavy schools, big-time schools. And then in my ninth game, tore my Achilles at the end of the game. Lost pretty much all my scholarships. Ended up signing to the University of Tulsa, where my first year there, I was recovering from my Achilles tear, and then I had got another injury during the season. So it was just kind of hard for me, to get playing time, and I fell out the rotation. But the next year I was there, I was playing a little more. My confidence was growing. A player went down, which led to me getting more minutes. I was really producing within those minutes, but it didn't translate once the player came back. I just felt like, they didn't appreciate me, and I wasn't going to be able to live out my dreams that way. And that's what led me to, USAO, where I met Coach Lane and Coach Francis, and they believed in me from the moment they called me. They thought I could be an All-American, all-conference type player. And,
right, and
I just,
that's
just
something.
Like, I was just on board with it.
That's something I've talked to Coach Francis about. Is he told me about the recruiting process with you, that how you guys really talked. One of the big things you talked about was your dreams of playing professional basketball, which now you've been able to achieve. But coming into USAO, I believe he said that you said that you didn't think that going to an NAIA university would be able to get you to that professional level. But Coach Francis pleaded
definitely
to you and got you to believe that would happen. And look at what's happening now. You're over there killing it in Europe right now, dropping 30 and 15 a game, it seems like.
Yeah, definitely. He really, sold me on his dream as well. Like he wanted to get past that first round, and, in the NAIA tournament, he was like, he thought I could be a key part of that. And he was like, you come here and you do what you're supposed to do and put the numbers up, then you can go pro. Like he showed me, past players within the program that did it. Like he had guys that, did their thing, did their time, and went on and have pro careers. And I was just like, I want to be part of that. Like I want to be the next person to say, I was at an NAIA school, and I left a D1, and I was still able to live my dreams out. And so, it was really a a match made in heaven because we both wanted some things and we both made it happen.
Right, and I think you're a great example of what it's like to be an elite NAI athlete. You've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations, whether it be through injury, through transferring, just trying to find that right home. What was it about USAO that, I mean, besides Coach Francis, that made you feel comfortable at USAO? Because I think it may have taken you a couple of months to kind of get comfortable with everything, because just by looking at the numbers, because from January on, you were just absolutely dominant last year, averaging like 20 points a game, 10 rebounds a game. All 8 of your double-doubles last year came after January 1st. So just tell us a little bit of what it was like getting used to USAO and how you became comfortable with where you were at.
I think what it was is I was kind of stuck in my own way. At first, when I got there, I was kind of pressed on showing off a lot of my perimeter skills, whether that was, dribbling, passing, or shooting, and it took me a little bit to realize that I can, kill from the inside and work my way out,
Right.
I didn't understand that. I kind of was just pressed on, like, I got to showcase these skills. I had to show people I can do this. I was too worried about showing people what I could do instead of just allowing my game to naturally show what it is, And when Marquise went down, I just knew, we just needed somebody to anchor on the inside. We just needed somebody to give us a low post presence, whether it was me or Dede. But I just knew I had to step up, points in the paint presence because of Marquise being down. I just said, you know what, it just clicked. It all just happened. And once it happened the first time, once I realized, how dominant I could really be, it just all started happening at once. I just said, we just gonna get this money down here, and then when the opportunity comes, we'll step out. Because I knew Coach didn't mind it because he knew my game, but I just knew, living in the paint and then stepping out was just the best way to go.
Right, and you're speaking about Deidre and Palmer, how you guys were a dynamic duo last year. We started calling you guys the Twin Towers just because of how dominant you guys were in the paint. You weren't always maybe the biggest guys on the court, but you guys would make the biggest impact on the court. I think both you guys, I don't know about Dede exactly, but I believe just about all of his double-doubles came in that same time frame that you acquired all of yours. You finished the season last year averaging 14 points a game, 8.5 rebounds a game. You were an All-American, second-team All-SAC. You averaged 1.28 blocks per game, and you had a career high of 6 against Wiley in the Sweet 16 last year. And you also were speaking on about your perimeter game. You shot 35% from three-point range last year as a 6'9" power forward. And I think something that's going to lead to is you're a great example of a stretch five, which is becoming so important in the game of basketball, where you need your big men to be able to shoot from the perimeter now. And has there been anything that you've really been working on this summer where you're trying to translate your game from the college level to the professional level? Is being a stretch five making that easier for you?
Definitely, just because, a lot of people see somebody tall and they'll think, oh, maybe he doesn't have any perimeter skills. So it's just, another asset to my game, being able to shoot. A lot of this summer work I did was a lot of, off the dribble work. So I knew I could catch and shoot. And I wanted to be able, okay, if the person takes away my shot on a closeout, I want to be able to go around them and knock down a shot, or, finish around the rim, with different ways, with floaters, or, just finish at the basket. That's what a lot of my summer work was, putting the ball on the floor. Because, at the pro level, a lot of guys are my size, so I don't have to play the five too much. So, just being able to be a release for guards, they know I can bring the ball up the court, or, if I get us in a sticky situation, I know I can get myself out of it, or I can take a mismatch off the bounce, where I got a bigger, heavier guy on me. I don't have to bang with him in the post. I can take him to the perimeter and take advantage of my foot speed, and utilize that to my ability.
Right, and I think something that I've definitely noticed is you're very comparable to a very popular, not so popular NBA player by the name of Kevin Durant. Some Oklahoma people may be familiar with him. You're a big, tall guy, lanky guy. But you know how to score from all parts of the court. Obviously, Kevin Durant now going through an Achilles injury. So, I think there's a lot of similarities between the two of you. Is there is there a specific NBA player that you really relate to that you think you compare to in your eyes?
Well, Kevin Durant is my favorite player. I would say some of our skills are the same, but I think the player I watched like 2 or 3 players a lot growing up. One was Lamar Odom, just because he's left-handed. He's 6'9", and he ran point guard for LA sometimes, and he could dribble and pass, and he just did a lot of things on the court that I feel like I'm able to do. Another person is Kevin Garnett. Another tall, lanky, another person that could dribble, post up. I like his fadeaway game. And then I like his intensity on the court, just the way, you can talk trash to him, you can say whatever, but he's going to talk right back to you, and he's going to give the buckets back. And then I watched a lot of Rudy Gay film back when he was in Memphis, just the aggression of him attacking the basket and everything, like his mid-range skills. So I try to take a lot of similar build guys like me and just add parts of their games to mine.
Right, and I think that's definitely shown. I mean, just looking from your highlights that you've posted from playing in Europe so far and from Pro-Am games that you played in over the summer in Seattle, you're looking pretty solid right now. You're looking a little bit like a tall guard. Is that something that you've been working especially on, is your ball handling and being able to push the ball up the court on your own?
Yeah, definitely. I want to be able to, that's just another advantage of being on the court. If I'm able to get the rebound and then, start a fast break as well, that's an advantage for us. They don't expect a lot of 6'9" guys get the ball and push it, and then maybe find the guard for a 3 or get it all the way to the rim and finish myself. It's just like I want to be able to do it all. I don't want to be limited in my game. I want to be able to say, I can do everything on the floor. I don't want somebody to say, oh, we stopped him from doing this, and then he's done for the game. No, I want to be able to, okay, you stop me from doing this, I'm able to do that,
Right.
But definitely ball handling is a key part of my workouts. Daily, I stay working on it every day, because that's just something I need to work on just so I can be more comfortable and confident making moves on the floor.
And so speaking about the physical aspect of the game, what is it like playing with athletes from different countries? I mean, over there in Europe, I assume that most of your teammates aren't American. Is there a language barrier? What is that like? Just walk us just through that experience.
Yeah, well, luckily all my teammates they're all from out here, but they all speak great English. So, we understand each other perfectly. Physically, they're all upper age, 28 to 30, some of them are older, and a lot of the guys we played against are older, they're kind of got grown man strength, so it's a different physicality. And then out here, you don't really get a lot of whistles just because it is a lot more physical. So, it makes you tougher in a sense because, you're not going to get this call, so you got to go through the guy's chest if you want to finish his basket.
Kind of like when you're growing up playing against your big brothers or your dad or something like that, where they'll just play bully ball against
Exactly, because, the last game, that I played against, and I had 30 and 15, they had a dude that's taller than me, but he was really big, and so, he would post up, and, I don't back down from a challenge, so it's just, it makes you compete harder because you want to, you're not going to let somebody just bully you in the post or vice versa. So it makes you compete, and it just brings out the better competition in you. It makes you want to just play better. I think that the physicality is great. They let you play out here. They don't really call any T tags, so it gets your mindset right. You're going to go in there with a battle. You're going to go in there. You got to finish strong, and nothing's going to come easy.
Absolutely, and so you're speaking on being able to battle and being able to stand up with those big guys. What would you say you took away most from USAO and Coach Francis? What was probably the top thing that you learned from this basketball program here?
Being there, I think I really grew up as a man. I would say my leadership ability. When I first got there, I was kind of leading with my voice and not really by example. And so dudes wasn't really listening to me because I was just talking. But as, time went on and my play started getting better, I was able to say certain things and dudes would understand what I'm talking about. They wouldn't take it the wrong way. So, and I was able to learn how to talk because you can't talk to everybody the same way. Some dudes respond differently to yelling. Some dudes are able to take a yelling at and stuff like that. So I think I really just grew as a person, as a man, He kind of helped me with that. Him and Coach Lane, like, Lane would pull me to the side and be like, Geno, you gotta just. And it would help me take everything in perspective. Like, okay, I gotta understand. Like, sometimes people just aren't on the same level, but that doesn't mean they don't get it. You gotta help them be where you're at so they can elevate their game. And I think I did that with a lot of guys on the team. They call me Cap, Captain, Cap, whatever. And, that was the thing. Like, I think they really, like, believed in me as the leader of the team. Like, they understood what I was saying. They actually, like, followed my lead. Like, it was great. I think I just grew up as a person, as a man, as a leader on the court. Like, I couldn't allow myself to have a bad day,
Right.
I can't allow myself, to not perform well or, get an attitude and deal. If they're not doing well, I got to be able to understand, okay, how do I get my guy and turn it around? How do I get him back on the flow?
Right.
I think that was like the biggest thing that I took from USAO.
Yeah, and I think that you're speaking on your growth here. I think it showed. I think last year the entire team grew, and it really showed in that second half of the season when you guys were beating the Langstons, OTUs, the Waylands, the John Browns. You guys were taking down top competition, and you guys were really playing as a team. And you guys played that way all throughout the postseason. At the NAI National Championship, I was lucky enough to be there with you guys through that entire experience. Walk us through a little bit what that national tournament experience was like, where you guys just went on such a run. And unfortunately, it came to an abrupt end. But, I mean, you guys were grinding hard there, and I think it really showed your guys' growth as a team. So just walk us through that national tournament run that you guys had last year.
Man, that was probably one of the greatest, saddest, most happiest experiences I've probably ever been through with basketball. It was just exciting, because I haven't been to a postseason besides a conference tournament in my whole life in college. Tulsa, we didn't go to the NCAA tournament, NIT or anything like that. And so, just getting that experience, like, and then seeing them bright lights, seeing all those teams there and going to the ceremonies, I think we all had the same goal. Like, I think we all felt like we had the best team there. Top to bottom, I think we had the best roster there. I think we could have beat anybody with a fair schedule.
That's true.
But it was just great. I think we all had the same goal, which was win. I think everybody put their self-pride aside. It didn't matter who scored the most points. It didn't matter who had the highlight. It was all about how are we going to get this W, and it showed with beating the Masters on a buzzer beater. It showed in Wiley dominating them, in our play. And it showed against William Carey at, the fight we had. I just love my team so much because the fight that we showed.
You guys showed a lot
through
of
through the fatigue. Like, we went down swinging. And I can never be mad at that. Like, he was in there battling, legs dead. Dude's not awake yet. Like, I love my team for it because we could have easily folded. We could have easily said, we're tired, forget it. We could go out here and wing it. No, we went out there and we fought. And so that was probably what made me so happy, with the whole losing thing. Like, I can't even be mad. Like, we out there, we fought for our lives. Like, if we could have had a better night's rest, a better meal at night because everything was closed, we could have had any type of better situation. I think we would win that game by double digits because I think we're just better than everybody.
And I think everybody else would agree with you on that. Even the other teams, because I don't think anybody in the Final Four wanted to play against you guys. I think everybody. No,
nobody wanted to see us the way we were playing. We were sharing the ball well. Like I said, it didn't matter who scored. At that point, it was all about winning that national championship. And I honestly believe that if we had to run it back, if William Carey and the running back team for team, it wouldn't be a competition. I believe in it so much that I think it was just a great experience. Like, getting to play in that kind of environment, the lights, the fans, and it just being we made it to the Elite Eight it's just a great feeling within itself. Like, just knowing I was 1 game away from the Final Four. Oh man, it was everything Coach Francis promised me. He we got there for one. We won 2 games there. we were able to do something that hadn't happened in a long time, and it was just the ultimate experience.
You guys are talking about your team chemistry, and you talked about how you guys kind of set aside your self-pride and everyone just had that one goal and going in there and getting that national championship. Is it still that brotherhood mentality at the professional level, or is it more of an individualistic goal?
Yeah, with college, we're sharing the apartments. You practice together. You got study hall together, class together. You see them guys 15 hours out of the day, every day, and you going on them bus rides together. You got no choice but to talk to one another and bond, and that's what we really was, all brothers. Like, I love them guys to death. If I could go see him right now, I definitely would. I'd pop up the chicken shade, say what's up to all them guys. But with this professional level, it's more of a business. It's not really the same thing. You go to practice and you go home.
Right.
Guys don't really stay around and talk to each other too often. Some guys are really friends off the court, but some really aren't. Like, we're not. It's not really. It's not the same thing. You're not the same thing. When you're together, it's like ha, hooray, and everything like that. But it definitely doesn't feel the same as college, because I see my guys at practice, and after that, I don't see them. If I don't go, I don't really contact them too often, or they don't talk to me or anything like that. It's nothing. I think nothing really beats that college brotherhood, because you're really going through the struggle together. Like, you practice be killer. Some days you don't like coach. Some days you don't like each other, but guess what? You might live with the person you don't like, so you got to see him at the apartment later. You're going to see him at the caf, and so you got no choice but to get over it.
Right.
Right? And talk to each other and figure it out and make it work. And, and then with, USAO, the apartment is so close, you can literally walk across 4 seconds to your apartment, and you can just kick it and chill. Everybody's playing video games, playing Fortnite together in the kitchen, chopping it up about life, That was the best thing I missed about college is, my guys just chopping it about nothing. They're sitting there talking about life, talking about whatever comes to mind, NBA, playing Fortnite, talking crap. It's a great experience.
Right, and you're obviously still early in your pro career. You guys are still in preseason. When is the first official game for you guys?
Next Saturday.
Next Saturday, all right. And then how many games in your guys' season do you have, and what other countries are you guys playing against? Where all will you guys be traveling? Because the team you're with now is BC Metz in Luxembourg. So just tell us a little bit about what this season is going to be like for you.
I believe all the teams we play against are in Luxembourg, and so I don't think we'll travel anywhere outside the Luxembourg area. I don't know how many games we play. I don't know specifically how many games we play, but I know we play every Saturday for sure, sometimes Saturday and Sunday, not Saturday and Friday, something like that. But I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be interesting, just getting it really into a groove and a flow of knowing when games are and, and stuff like that. I think it should be fun for me just because I'm just really excited to showcase all my skills. This preseason has really just been a great confidence booster because it just shows me all my summer work is translating.
Right, and you're definitely showing
that's
you
the
can
biggest
hang.
thing. That's like you when you work out, because summertime you don't get to play no games out of pro-am, and that's really iffy because NBA guys don't really pass the ball. So, with this, it's like you get to really show, okay, this work I put in really is like, okay, it wasn't for nothing. Like, I really was grinding, and it shows now. Like, the numbers I'm putting up is getting crazy, and it's like, okay, Geno been working. Like, and that's the thing. I don't post my workouts. I don't say when I'm working out. All that and the other, because I want people to think I'm not working. So when I'm out there killing you like, man, that dude really grinding. Yeah.
You're letting your game show how you work.
Exactly. I don't gotta. A lot of dudes talk on social media about, I did this in the workout or that and the other, and like, bro, you just set yourself a failure. Because what if what you working on don't translate? Everybody's like, oh, I thought you was in the gym grinding. Well, if you grind in the dark and, game time you shine, it's two different stories. Like, I'm just trying to, be the best player I can be.
The silent assassin. I think that's a good mentality to have, and I think that's something that definitely all of our USAO players can relate to. You guys had a pretty young team last year, and there will be quite a few returners this year. Obviously, the loss of you, Day-Day, Morgan, and Marquise, those are some big losses, but what advice do you have for this year's team? I mean, you guys got Cam coming back, Steph coming back, Trey, Graydon. I mean, just what would you like to say to those guys to get them prepared for this upcoming season?
I say, repeat the blueprint. Don't go away from what works. Share the ball, play for one another, play defense. And the transfers that come in, get them to buy into the culture. Like, we play a certain way. Like, let them buy into you guys. Let them adapt to you guys, and really just play basketball for each other. That's when we were winning games. Because when we stopped caring about who was shooting the ball and we stopped caring about whose numbers was what, that's when we started really winning games. And we started playing for each other. That's why I say, just read the blueprint. Just play for each other. Play hard every night. Play every night like the Elite Eight championship game. I would say to them guys, for one, I love them, to my young Bulls. I wish them nothing but the best this year, and just tell them just play hard every night. Play like your last game possible. Just go out there and just show out. Go win it for me. Go win one for me.
And so I guess that kind of leads into the last question I have for you is, what are your expectations for the 2019-2020 Drovers?
I expect nothing less but a SAC regular season championship, a SAC tournament championship, and I'll say at least another trip to the Elite Eight. That's it. I mean, I expect to Steph, Cam, them guys, Trey, Graydon, all them returners, they know what it takes now. They've seen it. They've seen what it takes to win 2 games in that tournament, playing games back to back at 11 o'clock at night. Like, they know what it is now. Like, they know, okay, this is what it is. They can tell everyone, like, okay, we know how to do this, and they can incorporate everybody into that and lead them themselves. And hopefully the transfers they added are nice. I haven't really seen nothing about them yet. I ain't been on my social like that, but I expect my Drovers to win the SAC this year. They go kick everybody's ass.
I think they'll definitely be able to use that national tournament experience that you guys had last year. Because just to remind our fans that are listening in, when you guys were at the national tournament last year, you guys played 3 games in 36 hours. 2 of those games starting at 11:15 at night or later, and they wouldn't end until 1 a.m. And then that final Elite Eight game against William Carey, you guys only had 11 hours from the end of your game against Wiley till the start of that game, and you go double overtime and lose by, I think, 2. So, I mean, if you don't grow from that, I don't know what you can grow from. So I imagine that team this year is going to have quite a bit of experience, even though they're still a young squad.
Yeah, I think that's the best part of their squad. They're still so young, and they can still put so many pieces together. It's dangerous for everybody because I know they're grinders. I know they live in the gym, so I'm not worried about that part. It's just how do you add new pieces to everything? It takes a little while to add new pieces to really get a flow going, and who's gonna step up as a leader for them? I got big challenges for my guy Steph and my guy Trey. I expect a lot out of them this year. I'm excited to watch. I told them to send me all the links for the game so I can watch, tune in. So I'm going to be on their head and they're not performing well. So they know that. But, I expect big things.
Well, we expect big things from you, Geno. We're very appreciative of you joining the show today. Any last words for Drover Nation?
I miss y'all. I'm going to show up one day. Y'all never know going to win. I'm just going to pop up at Chicken Shake. You're going to be like, oh, dang, Geno's here.
Well, we're looking forward to it, man. We wish you nothing but the best of luck over there in Europe, and we hope to see you back home soon.
All right. Thanks for having me on the show today.
All right. Take care, Geno.
All right.
Next week, we will give you a recap of all the USAO fall sports as they near their mid-season. Until next time, always remember, your talent is interesting, but your character is impressive.